How's it going, everybody? My name is Miles. We're going to be talking about Wonka today. Now, this film is directed by Paul King, who directed the Paddington movies, and I was really intrigued just by that. And so now you have Timothee Chalamet as a young Wonka who has dreams of opening up a shop in a city renowned for its chocolate. However, he soon discovers that the industry is run by none other than the chocolate cartel. Now, the Paddington movies are absolutely delightful. I absolutely love and adore those movies. So when I saw that Paul King was going to be directing a prequel to Willy Wonka, I was automatically intrigued, especially after watching the trailers. From the trailers, it looked like he was going to spark that magic that the Paddington movies was going to have. And quite frankly, I think I've only seen the Paddington movies that he's directed. So I was automatically intrigued, and I thought this movie was absolutely delightful. Now, I absolutely enjoyed this movie for what this movie was. However, I do have a couple of issues with this movie, but let's go ahead and get started with a couple of the positives that I have for this movie. Timothée Chalamet is absolutely fantastic as a young Wonka. What he is able to do is give us that really nice balance of having that Gene Wilder Wonka, but at the same time putting a nice little twist on his character, and I absolutely liked him as Wonka. There was no issue with his performance as Wonka. I absolutely thought he was absolutely delightful, and the relationship that they built between him and this little girl named Noodle, I thought was absolutely delightful. Those two worked together as a Bonnie and Clyde type of situation, and I absolutely loved their chemistry from the moment that you see them interacting till the very end. I absolutely loved them, but not only is that the only relationship in this movie that I thought was built up very well. And you also have a couple of other characters that are stuck at this place where Wonka is staying. And I thought the relationship between this whole crew absolutely worked. And Paul King was able to strike up some beautiful magic with this movie. And he was able to make it really delightful and really charming. The performances are absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved and adored every single one of them. Plus, also the cinematography and all of the color choices that they made in this movie, I thought absolutely worked, and it brought this whole world back to life. So if you grew up watching Willy Wonka or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, then you're going to get a lot of those nostalgic moments, mostly because it really does pull on those heartstrings that you want to get when you walk into this movie, and you kind of want to feel that magic again. However, a couple of things that didn't work for me as much as I wanted them to. A couple of the musical numbers didn't work for me. There was just never that one song that really stuck out to me, that where I was just tapping my foot at the beat of the song. So the musical numbers were okay, but they were really nothing to write home about. Then you have Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa, and when I saw that in the trailers, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. That is a wonderful casting choice. However, he's not in the film as much as I wanted him to, mostly because whenever he popped up, he added a little bit more humor into the film. And whenever he was able to pop up on the film, I absolutely loved all those moments. I just wish they used him a little bit more than they did, because he pops in a couple of times. They don't use him as much as I wanted him to, but whenever he pops up, I thought it was golden. Plus, the villains of this movie, who are the chocolate cartel, who are trying to take down Wonka and his chocolate, so they're able to be the only people to sell chocolate. They didn't work for me. I thought they came out a little bit too cartoony. They were a little bit too much sprinkled in here a little bit, but overall, it was just. They were just forgettable villains. They really didn't stick out to me at the end of it all. But overall, I absolutely still really enjoyed this movie. It was delightful. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, but Timothée Chalamet and the relationship between him and Noodle, which is really the more focal point of this film, I thought was absolutely delightful. There are a couple of moments that will pull on your heartstrings, especially when it comes down to Wonka's story. I absolutely enjoyed that aspect of this movie, and while I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, I still came out really enjoying it for the most part. I thought it was still delightful. I might have a couple of rewatches on this movie, but I'll see. But those are my thoughts on Wonka. Are you guys planning on checking this film out, or are you just going to wait for it to come out on streaming? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys soon.